Court of Nigeria has restrained the federal government from implementing the February 10 deadline of the old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes to stop being legal tender. Three northern states, Kaduna, Kogi and Zamfara, had in a motion ex parte filed on February 3rd, prayed the Apex Court to halt the Central Bank of Nigeria's NAIRA redesign policy. The seven-man panel of the Supreme Court, led by Justice John Okoro, in a unanimous ruling, granted an interim injunction restraining the federal government, CBN, and commercial banks from implementing the February 10 deadline for the old notes. The court further held that the federal government, CBN, commercial banks must not continue with the deadline pending the determination of a notice in respect of the issue on February 15. The old naira notes continue to be legal tender in Nigeria pending final determination of the suit.
We invoke the original decision of Supreme Court when there's a dispute between the state government and federal government. It's one of the few occasions where Supreme Court has the original jurisdiction. So we invoked the powers of the Supreme Court to hear this application. The reason for it is that as well-intentioned as this policy of federal government of this is working hardship all over the country. As we can all see, banks are being harassed, Nigerians are suffering needless, especially the downtrodden. Those in the urban areas, they're having problems, but it's more excruciating at the rural area. So these three state governments, Kaduna, Zamfara, and Kogi, deem it fit for us to invoke the powers of Supreme Court to intervene. And the Supreme Court has not just the final court, but a court of policy.
The other is an ex parte, and because of the urgency and the affidavit of urgency filed by the applicants, the court in its wisdom decided that something must be done because of the urgency. But the court has rightly, in its own wisdom, directed that all processes move there by 15th, that is Wednesday next week, for us to argue our various positions.
Dr. Nasiru Aminu, senior lecturer at Cardiff Metropolitan University, joins us to share his perspective on what the CBN should do to stabilize the financial system.
What are we seeing is we are seeing cash crunch, and it is continuing, it is happening, it is squeezing the economy, which is not very good. I live in Cardiff City, but I feel the pain because I'm deeply connected with people back in Nigeria. So I can't imagine the pain people are going through with seeing videos and what have not. People can't, buying is limited, selling is limited, eating is limited, movement is limited, and what have not. What can they do to ease it? First of all, we need to know, they haven't conducted any research about it. If you go to the CBN website, before the implementation, there's no any research report on the users and those who are going to help them implement it. I'm talking about the commercial banks. They don't know about it. Some of us are just learning that there are only 4 banks out of 14 local governments in Zamfara, about 6 banks out of 28 in Sokoto, 4 banks out of 17 local governments in Yobe. And I'm not saying there are so many banks in these local governments. Like in Shinkafi, you have only 1 bank in 1 local government. I think it's First Bank or something like that. So people are squeezed so much, and Central Bank does not have the full data about it. The CBN governor came out and told us that they have taken back 1.9 trillion naira out of the 2.7 trillion naira that is out of the hands of the public. That was on January 30th. Now that the Supreme Court has told them, or I think the Supreme Court only spoke to, put an ex parte order on the federal government, that is between the state government and the federal government. It did not involve the central bank, from what I read on the news, in the news. But if that were to happen, it means that they need to take back that 1.9 trillion naira back to the people for economic transactions to continue to happen, to ensure people can buy, can sell, can move, can eat. How can they do that? We don't know how much they have given to these banks and how much these banks or which bank collected what and how much they are going to take it back. Do they have that record? Then if they do have that record, it took them about 3 months to mop up that 1.9 trillion naira. From given the logistics, and movement, it will take longer for them to give back people that amount of money to ease this pain.